Hi guys, and welcome to another themed ebook haul where all of these were free. This particular one is all mystery. Now there will be some cozy mystery sprinkled into this, but for whatever reason on the email that I get for these books that are free on Amazon, it listed them as just standard mysteries, but some of them are cozy mysteries. So, and I did a video, which will have already been up, about cozy mysteries that were free, and it was all cozy mysteries. But there will be some in this. There's not as many in this one, although I do have a full page. So I will be doing a part 2 to just mysteries. But let's go ahead and get into this. I'll just be doing this like normal, reading the synopsis off of the screen, and we'll find out together what these are about. So book number 1 is The Haunting of Raven Valley. Computer, stop. I have that quiet enough, I forget that it's on sometimes. Okay, let's start over. The Haunting of Raven Valley. It looks like this one is a standalone, written by Wren Taylor. It has 31 ratings with an average of 4.13. This one says, when Odette Stevenson came to Raven Valley, Washington, she hoped for peace, quiet, and a place to write her second book. She soon finds out she's rented an old hunting lodge that was the site of a decades-old murder-suicide, and the spirits haven't rested yet. She teams up with the newfound allies to uncover the truth of what happened to the spirits haunting the house. But it's a race against time before the secrets of Raven Valley consume them all. So, yes. So this next book is called Off the Record. This is an Avery Rich mystery. It does not tell me if this is part of a series, but generally where it says it's insert whatever name mystery it is, sometimes it can be read as standalones. So I'm not sure exactly what number this would fall under. It does not tell me. So according to Goodreads, oh, and this was written by Sara B. like Bravo, Sara B. Gauldin. 201 ratings with an average of 4.14. This says, driven and successful, Avery Rich can't wait to start her new job as a detective, but she is soon forced to keep her investigation off the record and gets paired with an unusual consultant. The world of crime and conspiracy takes on a dangerous edge as she finds herself dealing with kidnapped bankers, high-stakes cover-ups, and criminals who are determined to keep her quiet. To save herself from the unthinkable, she must sort out the conspiracy from the crime and find out who she can trust to finish the case before they can derail her investigation permanently. So yeah, sounds pretty good. Okay. Next up, this one is part of a series. So the title is The Trouble with Dead Bodies, written by Trina Riggle and Katrina Kyle. Now, Katrina's name is the one that's on the cover. So this one does have a tag of sports, so I'm wondering what's going to go on with that. So this is book number 1 in the Hail Mary Mysteries series. Okay, Hail Mary Seton isn't your average miracle worker. She's a recovering world-class snowboarder, there's your sport, who's the hot new sports agent in town. When it comes to the non-stop PR nightmare of wrangling megabucks sports stars gone wild, is it Haley is actually what it is? I'm thinking it's Haley. Haley can fix anything. Because it looks like Hale, H-A-L-E. I mean, that's how it's spelled. And so I'm thinking Hale. Because it's Hail Mary. It might be Haley Mary. I'm going to say Haley from this point on. Haley can fix anything. Anything except dead, that is. When she signed her first NFL rookie client, she knew she'd be trouble. So you have the snowboarding reference from her past and now NFL. Okay, but let's see, continuing on. But she never counted her clients on her client's murder, or her brother, the team's super hunky all-star quarterback, being framed for the deed. It's kind of weird to have her brother references that. Yeah, something's weird there. Now it's up to her to pull a real-life Hail Mary. There you go. And save both her brother and her career while outmaneuvering the big bucks, big stakes, bigger-than-life egos of the professional football world's elite. Halle Mary, again, I'm guessing, Halle Mary may have found her client dead in his high-rise hot tub, but now she's the one in hot water. So, there you go. That actually sounds pretty good. That gives me cozy mystery vibes just because of the title and a bit of the synopsis, but it is not tagged as cozy mystery. Okay, up next I have the Housewife Assassin's Handbook, written by Josie Brown. This is book number 1 in the Housewife Assassin series. Every desperate housewife wants... Oh, and I think I forgot the last couple of books, and I've already clicked out of the tabs, but this one has 9,697 ratings with an average of 3.62. I'll try and remember to do that for every book from now on, but I think I forgot the last probably 2. Anyway, every desperate housewife wants an alias. Donna Stone has one, and it happens to be government sanctioned. She earned it the hard way. Her husband was killed the day she delivered her 3rd child. To avenge his death, she leads a secret life as an assassin, but espionage makes for strange bedfellows and brings new meaning to that old adage, honey, I'm home. Up next, it does have a tag of cozy mystery, and this one is called A Deadly Course, written by Diane Weiner. It looks like Weiner, but I think it's Weiner. So I could be wrong with the pronunciation, but I'm guessing it's Weiner. Who knows? Okay, this is book number 1 in the Sugarbury Falls Mystery Series. Again, this is also tagged as a cozy mystery. And this one has 443 ratings with an average of 4.21. This one says, Henry and Emily Fox are jolted from their peaceful semi-retirement in the idyllic community of Sugarbury Falls, Vermont, when Emily discovers a dead body during her morning run. As if the discovery isn't shocking in itself, Emily learns the dead body has a connection to the adult summer riding camp she is about to start teaching. With no apparent cause of death, Henry's buddy, the coroner, suspects foul play. Neither Dr. Henry nor former reporter Emily can resist solving a puzzle. As they work to solve the mystery, they discover an intricate web of relationships and motives involving the writers in Emily's class. Along the way, they are confronted with a profound, life-changing decision. Follow a deadly course through the first... Okay, and then it's like, follow this deadly course through the first book. So, there's that one. Up next is Spirits, Stilettos, and a Silver Bustier. I'm guessing is how it's... I always have trouble with that one. I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. But this is book number 1 in the Piper Rain series, written by Deanna Chase. This has 3,086 ratings with an average of 4.16. And this one I do not... Oh, okay. It does have the Cozy Mysteries tag, but that's like way at the end. So we'll see. Let's see. Where is the synopsis? Here it is. Okay. All Piper Rain, medium and coffee shop owner, wanted was the perfect vintage dress. What she got was a dead shop owner and a sexy ghost who's suddenly everywhere at her shop, in her car, and even lounging in her bedroom. But he's not just any ghost. He's a witch and able to appear in solid form, sometimes. If only he'd stop disappearing on her. And Piper needs his help. When she becomes target numero uno and the prime suspect in the shop owner's death, it appears her ghost holds the key to solving the murder. In between stolen kisses, Piper will need to get to the bottom of all his secrets if she wants to stay alive and out of jail, and maybe finally get the date he keeps promising her. Okay. It sounds fine. Next up, I have Missing Amanda, written by Duane Lindsay. This is book number 1 in the Lou Fleener mystery series. Maybe Flenner? I don't know. 542 ratings with an average of 4.32. It says, P.I. Lou, I'll say Flenner. P.I. Lou Flenner's got a great disguise. He's kind of short, slightly pudgy, and a little nondescript. But whatever you do, don't get in a fight with him, even if you brought a couple of buddies, because you're going to lose every time. Some people just have a gift. One of Lou's is that nobody ever sees him coming, and he's pretty much the Bruce Lee of street fighting. Who they see, especially if they're female, is his tall, handsome friend, Monk. And that brings us to Lou's second superpower. He's got a little something for the ladies, too. He can dance like an Arthur Murray instructor. Not your average 1950s Chicago PI. Duane Lindsay's fresh take on the tough guy detective is nicely buttressed by humor, graceful writing, and big, fun plots that sometimes evolve into intricate capers, like this one. Okay. And it just keeps going, and I'm kind of getting the feeling that it's going to spoil some stuff. So I'm going to end the synopsis there. Okay, so next up I have New Orleans Mourning. This is book number 1 in the Skip Langdon, I'm guessing, series, written by Julie Smith. This has 3,381 ratings with an average of 3.69. This also has the Cozy Mystery tag, but again, further on down the tag list. So, it's Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and civic leader and socialite Chauncey St. Amant has been crowned Rex, king of Carnival. But his day of glory comes to an abrupt and bloody end when a parade goer dressed as Dolly Parton guns him down. Is the killer his aimless, promiscuous daughter, Marcielle? Homosexual, mistreated son, Henry? Helpless, alcoholic wife, Biddy? Or some unknown player? Turns out the king had enemies. So we'll have, sounds like we'll have LGBT rep in this book, just so you know. And let's see, but I don't see, usually if it does, it has a tag, but it doesn't have the tag, so I don't know how prominent that rep is going to be in here. Enter resourceful heroine Skip Langdon, a rookie police officer and former debutante turned cynic of the uptown crowd. Scouring the streets for clues, interviewing revelers and street people with names like Jojo, Hinky, and Cookie, and using her white glove contacts, the post-Deb rebel cop encounters a tangled web of brooding clues and ancient secrets that could mean danger for her and doom for the Saint Amants. It actually sounds like that's going to be pretty comedic, so we'll see. Okay, so this next one is called With One Breath, written by Margaret Watson. This is book number 1 in the Black Hawk Security series, 204 ratings with an average of 4.39. This one says, 2 against the Taliban, 2 wildly different agendas, both crazy risky. Layla's not the type of woman who needs rescuing. Except for a tiny rule-making penchant, she's a model CIA agent. Smart, resourceful, brave, and very, very determined. But right now, she's in a tight situation. In more than one way, she's hiding from the Taliban in a network of pitch-dark, interlocking caves. So narrow, a cat could barely thread its way through them. A cat, or an agent trained for it. And that would be Jace, her designated rescuer. Once her CIA training agent, he's the last man she'd get involved with, even though he's the hottest guy she's ever met. He's bossy, intimidating, way too alpha, and a strict rule follower. All traits on her no-fly list. Set against the tense U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, this rapid-fire tale begins with electrifying action, moves on to flying sparks, and never lets up. Layla's on the way to Kabul to leave the country where she also teaches a class of village girls, when her driver betrays her. She outwits him, but it's only a matter of time till the Taliban track her down. She's never been so glad to see Jace. Romance should be the last thing on either's mind as they frantically crawl and slither their way through the claustrophobic caves, desperate to find an exit. Still, infatuation sparks and smolders. But neither can afford to take their eyes off their own goals. Jace's is simple, to rejoin his team and deliver Layla safely back to Cabal. And Layla has a more ambitious agenda, one that will require breaking rules, disobeying orders, and endangering the whole team. So, there we go. That's also listed as a romantic suspense, as you probably could guess from the synopsis. Okay, next is Savannah Savior. This is a Meredith Conley mind hunt thriller, but I don't know if it's a series and what number it is in the series. It doesn't say, but this is written by E.H. Vick. So like Edward Hotel, E.H. So Edward H. Vick. 666 ratings with an average of 4.08. This one says, he hunts women, she hunts him. FBI agent Meredith Connolly tracks the Savannah Strangler by day. At night, she mimics his prey. She has little to go on. He's crafty and smart. He dumps bodies in the Savannah River after stoning his victims to death. But he won't escape. She won't let him. She will do anything to make Savannah safe again. She will do anything to stop him. The dead pile up. Pressure, a hellish headache, desperate secrets. Heat, Stiletto Hills, fear. She won't let anything stop her. Not the detective who thinks she's drunk, not the good old boys club, not the mystery man cyber-stalking her. She will get the killer, one way or another. Her pounding head is going to kill her unless he gets to her first. And right now, you're going to be hearing probably some vacuuming. I hope you can't hear it, but it would not surprise me if the camera picks it up. My mom is vacuuming the floor upstairs, so, and it's a wood floor. Anyway, next is Ice Station Wolfenstein, I'm guessing is how that's said, but this was written by Preston W. Child, W like wind, Preston W. Child. This is book number 1 in the Order of the Black Sun series, 1,157 ratings with an average of 3.7. This one says, Sam Cleve, reporter for a small newspaper, has seen better days. After his partner was killed during an undercover investigation, he lost his passion for work and living. But when a resident of a nearby assisted living home is tortured and murdered in a barbaric manner, he starts investigating. He is especially intrigued when a mysterious box is given to him that belonged to the dead man, but he needs help to interpret what it means. He teams up with Nina Gold, an expert in World War II history. Soon the two of them realize that they are about to discover one of the best guarded secrets of the war. It dawns on them that this would be the discovery of a lifetime, a discovery of immeasurable value, and a discovery that men would kill for. They join an expedition sponsored by an eccentric billionaire, hunting for gold and breathtaking art buried deep in the Antarctic surface. Instead of gold and stolen art, they find something terrifyingly disturbing beneath the eternal ice. A team of Nazi scientists has made an amazing discovery, but experiments have gone terribly wrong. The situation gets out of hand, and before long, the expedition members find themselves peering into the deepest recesses of the human soul. Nina and Sam realize that their only hope for survival is to unlock the secrets of Ice Station Wolfenstein. So, that actually sounds pretty good. Okay, so this next one is called Murder on Oxford Lane by Tony Bassett. This is book number 1 in the Detectives Roy and Roscoe series. This has 460 ratings with an average of 4.15. This says, the peace of a Midlands village is upset when local businessman Harry Bowers doesn't return from choir practice. More concerned than the man's own wife, it would seem, investigating officer Detective Sergeant Sunita Roy becomes convinced he has been done away with. But there is no trace of the man, just a litany of evidence of an ailing marriage and a nose-diving business venture. In charge of her first serious case, D.S. Roy will struggle to win the respect of her colleagues. In particular, her broomy boss DCI Gavin Roscoe. All that whilst fighting off the intentions of an increasingly desperate suitor. Who headed in for the budding chorister, and is Roy tough enough to break down the defenses and prejudice of Middle England? And this is listed as British literature as well, in case you were interested in that. Okay, so this next one is called Hidden Currents, written by Christy Barritt. And this is book number 1 in the Lantern Beach Mystery series. This one has 2,818 ratings with an average of 4.2. The synopsis reads, you can take the detective out of the investigation, but you can't take the investigator out of the detective. A notorious gang puts a bounty on Detective Katie Matthews' head after she takes down their leader, leaving her no choice but to hide until she can testify at trial. But her temporary home across the country on a remote North Carolina island isn't as peaceful as she initially thinks. Living under her new identity of Cassidy Livingston, she struggles to keep her investigative skills tucked away, especially after a body washes ashore. When local police bungle the murder investigation, she can't resist stepping in. But Cassidy is supposed to be keeping a low profile. The wrong move could lead to both her discovery and her demise. Can she bring justice to the island, or will the hidden currents surrounding her pull her under for good? So, there you go. Now this next one, the cover looks interesting. The one that I'm seeing, I don't know if it's the one that I'll insert here, but the cover is a stack of newspapers with blood splattered on it. And so I'm instantly intrigued by that. This is the Friday edition, written by Betta Ferrendelli. This is book number 1 in the Samantha Church Mystery Series. This has 1,319 ratings with an average of 3.97. This one says, Christmas is coming to Denver, Colorado, but it isn't only snow that's falling. A beautiful young woman, who also happens to be a Truman County Assistant DA, tumbles from her apartment balcony to her death on Christmas Eve. Ooh, that sucks. The incident is ruled a suicide, but the DA's sister, newspaper reporter Samantha Church, isn't buying it. Feverishly, Samantha throws herself into finding out what really happened to her sister. She pursues her sister's killers, maneuvering through a minefield of intrigue deliberately set out to divert her from the truth. She invariably stumbles when confronted by the inescapable specter of a greater enemy, the alcohol dependency that has already cost her the respect of her peers, and worse, custody of her daughter. Samantha must summon the courage to face not only a cartel of criminals, but also her own demons. Physically threatened and betrayed, she nearly defeats herself through her own insecurities and fears. She not only must summon the courage to get beyond her own shortcomings, but she must work quickly to beat her nemesis, a reporter at the major metropolitan daily newspaper who is also in close pursuit of the developing story. Can Samantha ultimately prevail, write the biggest story of her career, and finally begin to change her life before it is too late? So it sounds like we're going to have a bit of alcoholism touched on in that. So if that's particularly bothersome to you, definitely be aware of that. That's what it sounds like from the synopsis anyway. Okay, so up next is called A Good Bunch of Men. This says it is a Dickie Floyd detective novel. Again, I don't know if it's a series, and if it is, I don't know what number it is. It doesn't give me that information on here. This was written by Danny R., like Romeo, Danny R. Smith. This has 747 ratings with an average of 4.2. This one says, dead prostitutes can seem like part of the landscape in South Los Angeles. What then could render 2 veteran homicide detectives speechless as they stand over their latest victim? Tightly wound Dickie Jones and his smart and cocky partner Matt, Pretty Boy Floyd, Tyler, find themselves entangled with gang members and a sexy drug dealer as they uncover a nefarious plot rife with greed, sex, and betrayal. Can law enforcement's odd couple survive fights, shoutouts, and a sniper who wants them dead? What about their wives and their children? all of whom have had it with them both. It says that this book will have you laughing, gasping, and craving the next. So it is a series. It sounds like and looks like it's probably the first one, but I'm not 100% positive, so do not quote me on that. But that's what it looks like to me. Okay, this next one is actually a cozy mystery. And this one says, Heard It Through the Grapevine. This written by Lizbeth Lipperman. And this is book number 1 in a Dead Sisters Talking mystery series. This has 687 ratings with an average of 4.23. It says a debut mystery chock full of big Texas attitude. So a debut if you're looking for a debut book. Savannah television personality Elena Garcia has the opportunity of a lifetime as a news anchor in Florida, but her plans are disrupted when she learns about the death of her estranged sister Tessa, who ran a Texas winery with her ex-husband. Back in her hometown of Vineyard, Texas, Lainey comes face to face with her dead sister. The problem is that Tessa is not in the coffin. Dealing with the wisecracking ghost of her sibling, Lainey and her 3 surviving sisters set out to fulfill Tessa's wishes from beyond the grave to find out who killed her. But hidden among the vines of the dead sister's multi-million-dollar wine-making business lurks a killer who will stop at nothing to get what he wants. It sounds good. I like it when there's hauntings. I really enjoy the paranormal aspects in books, so that's always a big selling point for me. Okay, next up is Killsong. This is book number 1 in the Nicholas Sharp series, written by Mannock, I'm guessing. 119 ratings with an average of 4.29. This says, Nicholas Sharp is a flawed hero, but you sure as hell want him on your side. Turning his back on the military system that turned him into a murderer when he shot an innocent man, Sharp is grateful to have found refuge in a career as a successful musician. But while he is preparing to back well-known former rock star Robbie West on a USO tour of Iraq, a close friend and her daughter disappear. In a deadly game of cat and mouse across 3 continents, Sharp discovers there's more at stake than his own life and those close to him. As relentless shadows from his past chase him down, he faces a brutal choice: kill or be killed. Okay, this next one is called Where You Will Die by Craig Allen Heath. This one has only 9 ratings with an average of 4.44, so please keep that in mind if you're one that likes a lot of ratings. This one definitely doesn't have that. Only 9. So this one says, Eden Ridge is the perfect place to restore a grieving soul. Alan Wright retires to the idyllic town nestled in mountain pines to build his spiritual center and heal after the shocking death of his wife left him inconsolable for 2 years. Just as he begins drawing a congregation of mending his heart, the murderer of his best friend and favorite follower threatens to break his spirit again. Ruth Mackenzie was a gift to Alan with a rare and valuable antique that now is missing along with her bright, fierce presence. Convinced that her generosity and his outsider status got her killed, he decides he must risk everything to set things right. Helped by Ruth's friends, known as the Little Red Hens, he faces ridicule, arrest, and his own demons to hunt for her killer. So, not much to go off there, for at least for me. It's pretty vague, so which is fine. For a mystery and a thriller that's actually pretty good, then you're in for more surprises. Okay, this next one is called Dangerous Behavior. It looks like this one's a standalone, and this one was written by Walter Marks. This has 749 ratings with an average of 3.87. This one says, after 15 years in solitary confinement, Victor Thomas Janko, the notorious baby carriage killer, has become eligible for parole, and it is up to Dr. David Rothberg, the new prison psychiatrist, to determine whether Janko should be released. As David finds himself drawn into the psychological quicksand of a disturbed inmate, his manipulative girlfriend and a brutal guard, David, needs to confront his own demons as he decides if Janko deserves a second chance. So, That actually sounds pretty vague, but pretty good at the same time. Okay, so this next one does not have a synopsis on Goodreads, so I'm going to switch over to Amazon here in just a second. This one is called The Avondale Abduction. It says this is a riveting kidnapping mystery. And this one was written by Marie Wilkins. 20 ratings with an average of 4.35 according to Goodreads. So on Amazon, this one says... This is book 48 out of 48. Okay, now this one, it looks like... Okay, so this is a longer series. I opened up a new tab here. So these are all written by different authors. So like books number 1 and 2 are written by Roger Hayden. Number 3 is by James Hunt, who wrote the next couple. Number 7 was written by Alexandria Clark. So it looks like these all have to deal with abductions, but where they're all written by different authors, I am going to assume that you can read these in any order. Now, I know that when I pull this one up, I'm probably going to go all the way to number 1. That's just how I personally do things. So I will go ahead and read the synopsis of this one, because again, it looks like these can all be read as standalones, even though it's all part of the series. It's like the same theme where they all deal with abduction, and I think it's all dealing with child abduction or child kidnapping, from what I could see from the other books. So just probably a heads up on that as well. So this one says, when successful prosecutor Katie's daughter is abducted, she must navigate a small town's dark underbelly to find her. But the case takes a sinister turn when Katie discovers the perpetrator is her long-lost twin sister, who has been living a life of abuse and seeks revenge. With the help of her former felon Sloane and unlikely allies, Katie races against time to save her daughter and stop her twisted sister's deadly plan. It says this is an abduction mystery set in a small town that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So this really does sound like you can read them all as standalones. Again, they're all written by different authors. Some, this by a handful of different authors. Some of the authors have written, a handful of books within that series. So, but it looks like you can read them all as standalones. If you have read any of the books in this series and can confirm or deny that, please let me know in the comment section. But it does look like they can all be read as standalones. Moving on, I have The Killing Woods, written by Linda Barry. This is book number 1 in the Sidney Becker series. This one has 856 ratings with an average of 4.45. Now this one was published under a different name. It says it was formerly published as Girl with the Origami Butterfly. So if you've heard of that, we're talking about the same book. They just retitled it. So this one says, let's see, homicide detective Sidney Becker is burned out. After years of investigations in a big city, she's haunted by grisly crime scenes. Fleeing the stress of the job and a failed relationship, she accepts the position of police chief in her hometown, a peaceful mountain community in Oregon. Life is good, beautiful scenery, low crime, close to family. Then a woman is found brutally murdered in the woods. The staging of the body is chilling and resembles a victim found in the same area years early. The case went cold. Now the killer has come out of hiding. The case instantly becomes intensely personal for Sidney. Garnersville is a small community. Folks know each other. It's unnerving to imagine that a neighbor could be a murderer hiding in plain sight. That is unsettling. And that's why you hear a lot of people, like on the news, they say, I never expected so-and-so to do this. Yeah, they may have been a little odd, but I never expected him to be a killer. Because they tend to be psychopathic charmers. They can charm people. I think that was the case with like Ted Bundy or something. I don't know. I've got to look more into stuff like that. But that tends to be the common, I never saw them as doing this. They were so nice. Anyway, continuing on with the synopsis. After she conducts her investigation with her small force of 3 officers, Sydney finds she is pitted against a killer more cunning than any she has faced before. The man is ruthless and plans each murder to the smallest detail. The only clue found at the crime scene is an origami butterfly planted on the victim. Inside is a handwritten verse. Sydney must decode his cryptic messages and lure him into the open before he strikes again. So again, this was titled Girl with the Origami Butterfly, but it is now titled The Killing Woods. We are on the last 2, it looks like, right? I don't have that paper in front of me. Okay. This one is called Mona Lisa's Secret, written by Phil Phillips. This is book number 1 in the Joey Perugia series. 2,295 ratings with an average of 3.97. It does say this is also a historical fiction. It is tagged as mystery, but the very first line in the synopsis says historical fiction, mystery, and suspense. Okay, so reading the actual synopsis, it says the truth will be revealed. Joey is the great-grandson of Vincino Perugia, the man who stole the original Mona Lisa in 1911. Along with his girlfriend, Marie, an art connoisseur, he stumbles across his father's secret room and finds himself staring at what he thinks is a replica of Da Vinci's most famous masterpiece. But it is no fake. The Louvre has kept the secret for over 100 years, waiting for the original to come to light, and now they want it back at any cost. With Marie held hostage and the Louvre curator and his men hot on his trail, Joey is left to run for his life in an unfamiliar city, with the priceless Mona Lisa his only bargaining chip. While formulating a plan to get Marie back with the help from an unexpected quarter, Joey discovers hidden secrets within the painting. Secrets which, if made public, could change the world forever. Sounds good. Okay. Now this is the last book. So this one does not have a synopsis on Goodreads. This is called The Haunting... Oh, whoa. The Haunting of Engstrom House. It says this is Engstrom House Book 1. So this will be part of a series, or is. This was written by Nasser Rabadai. I know I slaughtered that. I'm pretty sure I slaughtered that name. I got that wrong, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, 13 ratings with an average of 3.85 according to Goodreads. Now, switching over to Amazon. Again, this was for the last book in this particular video. This one says, oh, come on, stupid pop-ups. Okay. Okay, Abigail almost killed herself, and if she had only cut deeper, she might have succeeded. The small town of Ashfall is home to Engstrom House, an archaic mansion rumored to have a troubled past. When Abigail Martinez discovers an old journal belonging to a daughter of the original Engstrom family, her life suddenly becomes entangled with the house's nightmarishly disturbing secrets. Abigail has never believed in ghosts, but when the vintage journal writes back to her, she becomes determined to find the remains of Helen Engstrom, a girl who went missing during the house's darkest days. But twisted and evil forces hell-bent on stopping her still live in Engstrom House and thrive in the decrepit graveyard deep in the expanse of unkept woods on the overgrown Engstrom property. Can Abigail bring closure to the long-forgotten mysteries surrounding Helen's disappearance, or will she also be consumed by the paranormal events responsible for the haunting of Engstrom House? A haunted house book. Maybe a haunted graveyard as well? Sounds good to me. That sounds really good. So that is it for this particular video. All mysteries. Some of them are cozy mysteries, but they were all tagged as mysteries on the email that I got. Let me know if you've read any of these books or read anything by any of these authors. Or just talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.